What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ring the Bell Philly show here on the RTB Philly Sports Network, presented by SeatGeek. I'm your host, Chris Francesco, and the OGs are here. Like the OGs, like all three. Jason Kent and Dean Holzapple. Dean, what's going on, man? This shocked the system of the world of Jason Kent. I'm sure when he rolled up in here and saw that you were here, and I'm sure he was like, "Oh, great! This is just gonna be one negative session after another." It's like a bad therapy session when he saw your face. But one of the reasons I wanted to get Dean on here, and look, Dean has been great. Dean, I asked Dean about a month or so ago. I said, "Hey, man, when we get to the playoffs, would you be interested in hopping on?" He goes, "Yeah, anytime you need me, just let me know." Fun fact about Dean is that he was at Game 2. Yesterday at Citizens Bank Park. So I'm excited to get his almost insider perspective on how yesterday was. Dean, it was looking more and more like, the scene of Game 1 for a while on Sunday afternoon. When did that, I guess, once Bryce hit that home run, is that when everything just shifted?
Pretty much. And then like nobody was even collected, and then Casty smashed that home run. It was like we didn't even have a chance to like sit down and like regroup. It was just like it was I didn't even know it was 1-0 until I was looking at the box score. I thought he literally just took the first pitch deep. Because I took my hat off and I was like, "Woo, man, that was insane!" And I was wiping my brow, and then everybody went crazy, and I was like, I kind of missed the home run. I didn't see where the ball was going or anything. And then everybody was just going ballistic. And then, I will say the crowd was pretty good. Even down 3-0, the crowd was still pretty into it. But after Casty's home run, that 1-2 punch of Harper and Casty just completely changed the dynamic for the stadium.
So when was the crowd louder? Was it the Casty game-tying home run or Stott's triple?
Ooh, that's good, man. Man, that's tough.
Obviously, the walk-off was the biggest, but that Stott triple, I don't think anyone saw Stott hitting a game-tying triple at that point.
I think Casty's home run was a little louder. That was just, it was nuclear.
I love when Dean uses nuclear.
That's the best way I can describe it. It was just a nuclear explosion in that stadium when he hit that home run.
So here we are. We're less than 24 hours away from Game 3 up in Citi Field. Aaron Nola will take the mound. Jason, man, yesterday was, that was the shot in the arm that everyone needed, including myself. If those of you who watched my post game of Game 1, I thought the series was over.
Me too, everyone. I was pretty negative going into yesterday.
Yeah,
I had no faith. Yeah, I had no faith going into yesterday.
When again, and I said this post game of Game 1, your best shot of the entire series is Game 1 with Zach Wheeler on the mound. And what happened. I was extremely negative. I own up to that. I thought that the Phillies were going to lose a series. I'm still not totally certain because, again, and it's for the second year in a row, I'm glad we have Dean on this the night before a NOLA start, is that
I'm glad I'm not going because I want to sit through his long-ass wind-up 3.5-hour games.
NOLA got here. He tells you guys to settle down.
Listen, the last NOLA start I went to, he gave up 6 runs to the Mets. So it was September 13th. It was literally 48 hours after I got back from California. I went to a Friday night game because I wanted to see the Citi Connects in action because I haven't really been to many this year. And he gave up 2 3-run blasts against Quintana. That was the opposing pitcher for the Mets, and I was.
Wasn't that the game he was like dealing through 4?
He was like lights out, and then all of a sudden he gave up like back-to-back 3-run jacks, and I was like, oh. That was the first time in a long time that I go to all the games with my buddy Kevin. That was the first time in a long time that the two of us left the game early.
This is my issue is I want to be incredibly excited and positive and looking at the momentum that's going into tomorrow night. But I just don't, just like the Phillies from Game 1 to Game 2 from an offensive perspective, when 27 takes that hill tomorrow afternoon, I have no idea which Aaron Nola we're going to get. And that's probably the most terrifying. It's more terrifying to me than Ranger Suarez being deemed the game 4 starter.
Mhm.
Or I'm sorry, yeah, game 4 starter. The fact that I don't know which Aaron Nola is going to hit that mound tomorrow, Jason,
Yeah, we
that has
do.
to be terrifying.
No, I feel like okay. Here's what he's going to give up a home run. You're going to
Probably.
give up 2 runs, but I think he's
It,
going to go
it
7.
could be a grand slam, but it'll be a home run.
He's going to give up. Yeah, we know it's coming. So as long as he keeps them off the base, listen, I do believe he's going to give a 7, and we probably need 8 at this point because this bullpen, with your skepticism on Nola, I feel the same way about this bullpen.
Oh, I'm way more skeptical of the bullpen. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody coming out. So I really, hopefully maybe go to Estevez. Hopefully you go Nola Estevez and just call it a day and really save some of those arms because a lot of them didn't look great the first 2 games of the series. That's where my biggest issue is. And I'm still a little nervous about the bats. Yes, they did show up at the end of the game, but for a good 12, 13 innings, man, they just didn't hit. And it is nervous and it's really not, they're not going to let Harper beat him every night.
It was 14 innings.
Yeah. They're not going to let Harper get you every game. So, Cassidy's going to have to continue to do it. Trey's going to have to continue. And you're going to need more from your Stotts, from your Marshes. You're going to need more from those guys and Rojas.
And Alec Boehm's back in the starting lineup tomorrow. Look, we have the expectations of what we're going to get out of guys like Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. Bryce is on a legendary run from a postseason perspective with the Phillies. But when you have, Trey Turner had 2 more hits yesterday, which is great. Bryson Stott showed up to the party with that huge triple, but Cassidy has been that unsung hero now for about 2 months. But you're right, guys. It's going to be really difficult to get through the NLDS and hopefully an NLCS if the Alec Boehms, the JT Realmutos, the Brandon Marshes aren't hitting the baseball. We saw a big lineup change for game 2 with Alec Boehm being benched for Edmundo Sosa. Are we going to see another lineup change tomorrow because Bryson Stott is hitting 221 against lefties this year, where Edmundo Sosa is hitting 285? I mean, Jay and Dean, do we see a game a day here where tomorrow Bryson Stott, fresh off of hitting a game-tying massive triple, might not even start tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. Because Sanea is he's pretty nasty against lefties, so you need to ease the lefty count in the lineup, and you're gonna. Unfortunately, Stott's gonna have to come out. I think Marsh should come out too because that guy can't hit anything. So, I don't think Sine is like this incredible pitcher, but he's got some pretty nasty stuff against left-handed hitters.
You probably do, but Mene is not good. Like this is one of his better years, probably bet in a long time.
Since he's with the A's.
So let's, I know he had everybody's ranking him this year. He had a pretty solid season, but I would, if you're going to, like John said, you'd hope. You did it all season. You know what he's going to do. I'm okay with it. If he doesn't make the move, though, I'm okay with it as well.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
You're going to play the guys. They are Stotty was projected to be our everyday second baseman.
For sure.
He has had some struggle. So, if you want to give him time in the playoffs and let him go through it, I'm okay getting that consistency and letting him get the everyday at bats because he's going to be vital.
No. Of course. I mean, I agree. If you always ask me, I'm going to go with the guy who's supposed to be your everyday second baseman.
Yes.
And I'm going with Bryson Stott there. The other question is, do you start Brandon Marsh or does Austin Hayes get a start tomorrow?
I'd be okay starting Hayes because Marsh is really struggles, but I'm okay either way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Marsh. I want more. I do because I had more faith in Marsh after when he came over. I did believe a lot in his offense, so I do like it. And I do want. You do need to see the defense, especially after I know it wasn't a big deal. We ended up winning, but an error almost cost us early in that game. So you need to. I do believe in defense is vital at this time of the season.
Yeah, I'm trying to find what he's done, what he did against the Phillies, what Mene has done against the Phillies this year. For some reason, I can't find what he did his last start against the Phillies, which was in September. I know
So
it was
7 innings, 3 earned. He gave up 2 home runs.
Yeah, so it was a
So-
quality start.
No.
The Phillies need to get a lot more.
They,
I mean,
they
you can't
tugged
let
him
him
up
go
for 6
7.
early in the season. So
That's
early
good.
is
That's
yeah.
what we need.
In July, he hit 7 hits, 6 runs, 2 home runs again. You know, first season or first start, I guess, 4 innings, 1 earned. So you know they've gotten to him a good bit this season.
You got to get to him quick. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm talking like 4 or 5 runs in the first 2 innings.
I
Would
think
be
a
ideal.
Schwarber needs because you don't want to get the problem. You know, the big thing with us is Schwarber hitting that early leadoff home run at home is big. You don't want to give the Mets momentum, and you don't want to get that crowd going because it is the same way. I know everybody we want to believe Philly's the greatest spot ever. No other crowd can match ours, but every home team in the playoffs, their energy brings and it does feed the team. And Texas was able to ride it the wave last year. We rode it to a World Series, so you don't want to. With the way the Mets are playing, you are nervous, and they've hit our pitching very well.
So let's kind of talk about Aaron Nola for a second because this is I mean, every playoff game is the biggest game of the year, but tomorrow, man, that really amps things up for Wednesday in New York. If they can come out with a win tomorrow, and I feel like the best way they're going to be able to do that is if Nola gives you a game that he's been capable of this season. But if we look at his last 5 starts in order, 5 innings pitched, 9 hits, 3 earned, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned, 7 innings, 1 earned, 3 hits, and then 4 in the third. That was probably in the 13th against the Mets. 6 hits, 6 earned runs. And then right before that, at Miami, 4 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs. So again, I mean, the only Nola to me that's acceptable is what we saw against Milwaukee. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, probably a home run. That's to me, Jay. That's the only acceptable line I can have is 7 innings of 3 to 5 hit ball, 1 to 2 runs max. That's what they need out of him tomorrow. I mean, anything less, I feel. I mean, you said it. He has to go 7.
Dude, I'm sorry because you were going through the stats and I was looking at him real quick. This dude has 33 starts. He only hasn't given up a home run in 10 of them.
I know.
God damn.
He led the league this year again in home runs.
Oh my God.
In 23, you gave up a home run in 23 games, bro.
Yeah. 30 home runs he gave up this year.
So you know the Mets are going to tag him for one. Just statistically, it's there. But I believe listen, you got paid. It's time to show up. You really we need you. This is why you stayed in Philly because you wanted this moment. So it's your moment. They gave Sanchez. Now you have to go on the road. This is what you were paid to do. So you got to come up. This is really essentially game 1 of the 3-game series. Go out there, dominate. You have to, and I believe in him. I know me and him have a love-hate relationship. It's really been that way, but I still believe in the guy. I think he can limit the base runners. I don't think he gives up a lot of walks tomorrow. Doesn't give a lot of hits. I think his curveball, I think is everything's going to be working tomorrow. I think he's feeling it. I think you get an Alonso home run late, but I do think he wheels and deals tomorrow.
Yeah, the walks have to be limited. I hate to say this, Jay, but this year was the most walks he's had since 2019. He had 50 walks this year. His whip is 1.199. So, I mean, again, look, I've always said this before, and I know Dean's heard me say it 1,000 times. You've heard me say it 1,000 times. I don't care if a team gets 6, 7, 8 hits off of you. Please don't walk 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. Don't give
them
free
the base
bases.
runners.
Please don't. Because 1, he doesn't hold any runners on, and 2, he seems to just implode when guys get on base. And that's what we've seen over the last couple of years is that if he doesn't walk guys, I mean, he's pretty dominant. But if he starts walking guys and they're getting on base and they're automatic, it's damn near a guarantee they're going to steal within 2 or 3 pitches on Nola. He kind of just mentally implodes. So a lot's just got to go right tomorrow. Dean, what's your confidence level in what Nola we're going to see tomorrow?
On a scale of what, like 1 to 10?
On a scale, yeah, of 1 to 10, with 1 being, I'm not even going to watch the game.
Better say 10.
10 being, I'm pretty confident he'll lead us to a win.
5?
I'm sitting right around a 5 or a 6.
It's just because, like you said, Chris, I don't know what Nola we're gonna get.
Yeah,
We could get like Ace Nola, and he'll just
Right.
be lights out,
Mhm.
and we'll sing his praises like we have done on and off air and over the years he's been here, because he's got that in him. We've seen it. He'll just
for sure.
light
Mhm.
people up at the plate, and they can't hit him. Or he's going to be the guy I saw September 13th and give up 6 runs in 1 inning, and that's the end of the game right there. So
Yeah,
I'm tempering my expectations just completely for these playoffs just because of the last 2 years. I was like real like gung ho and like we're going to the World Series, and then so I'm just kind of like I'm enthusiastic, but I'm just kind of like pumping on those brakes a little bit until until I can really get behind them. So so I'm a 5. I'm a 5 for Nola.
Question for you both though, because we have seen Nola. We've seen it in I remember the World Series game we went to. I remember, just a lot through the playoffs. It is that 1 inning, it feels like.
It is always that 1 inning.
You see
Consistent. It's 1 inning and implodes.
how quick. So I understand he's supposed to be your second pitcher and he got paid to be an ace. In the playoffs, if it's 4th inning, 5th inning, and he gets 2 guys on, are you thinking, right? Are you already thinking? Or do you let him try to
Is
work
it
out
a
of
0-0
it?
game?
Yeah, it depends on the score.
Yeah, I'm thinking zeros. I'm thinking
you let him get out of it.
You don't pull the plus, because that's what my only issue there is. I have seen it. We've seen him where he's dominated, like Dean said. That game Dean went to, I remember in the World Series, he was pitching really well.
Yeah.
And we've seen it throughout his career. He's done really well. He's really looks like they're not getting hit. And that 3rd time around that batting order, they start to tag him.
I just don't know who guess what? If I was more confident in the bullpen, I'd say get an arm loose. But who the hell are you throwing out there with 2 runners on, hoping to get out of that? I mean, that's
none of them.
Yeah, I know that's the thing. So I mean, that's why you started. Jay,
we're gonna have to see Alvarado at some point.
At some point, I know
he's got to have to pull him out.
He's like the postseason's Taiwan right now. Like they're just not going to play him. But that's why.
Let's just bring in Taiwan. Is he on the roster?
No, he's not.
Why don't we just
Jay started?
Just spot the Mets 7 runs in the 1st inning.
Jay's going to have a stroke if we bring up Taiwan Walker not being on the roster.
I'm so off that dude's bandwagon. It's not funny.
But Jay, I mean, that's why look, you answered your own question in a way, because you opened up the show with the first words being he has to go 7.
But we all know he has that inning, and that's my problem. Is I know I need 7, but I need 7 of, you gave up a home run, a solo home run. I can't I can't go because if he starts getting guys on, it really seems mental with him. It's really in there. Yeah. He starts to implode, so I'm really nervous about it.
I think like the max runs, you never want to see a pitch like say, oh, it's okay to give up this runs, but like I'd say like 3 is his limit.
Over 7, yeah,
absolutely.
If he's getting tagged in the 4th or 5th, and you got to really start playing. But like because 3 is a super surmountable like comeback. You know what I mean? That's I don't want to say anything's easy, but like it's not 6 or 7. Like then you're getting to the point where it's like, okay, this game is pretty much over at that point. 3 is doable, especially with our lineup if they can hit. Especially if they look like they did yesterday. It kind of felt yesterday that because they kept getting hits early on.
Yeah.
They just weren't getting them over, and then it kind of just Harper broke the dam. So like if they can hit Manea early, kind of get that groove of okay, we're hitting the guy. I think we'll put some runs up tomorrow to where maybe we can give a little wiggle room to Nola, where he just needs to be good. He doesn't need to be perfect, just good.
I think it's a great point. He needs to be good, and a good Aaron Nola should win you Game 3. It should win you the game.
He can't. But I agree. He can't feel like he's got to be the guy to win it.
Correct.
Sure.
That's why I'm saying the best thing that can happen tomorrow is 3 or 4 right away runs for the Phillies offense, because that might put Nola in complete ease, because then it's like, well, it's not on me now. Now I just got to go out there and pitch my game. Especially
if he can get a couple quick early innings where he's feeling it, and then if we're up like 3 or 4-0 and he's kind of rolling into the 4th, then you're like, all right, if we can get like 2 more innings out of this guy, we should be good, you know?
Yep.
And it's just, that's what it's got to be.
I agree. On the other side, like we already said before, the Phillies will face left-handed starter Sean Manaea as, you know, this goes up to New York now. Manaea, who's going to become a free agent at the end of the year, had a career year. Like Jason said earlier, he went 12-6, a 3.47 ERA, a great whip, 1.08. 184 strikeouts in 181 innings. What's crazy about Manaea that people might not know, during the middle of the season, he completely changed his delivery. He's like way more of a sidearm guy now. And after implementing that change in, I think it was like mid to late July, he led the Mets to 10 wins in his next 11 starts with an ERA of 2.63. So he's a completely different version of himself than we saw in the 2022 NLDS with the Padres.
We lit that guy up.
Yeah, we did. Another idea here, I just found this in terms of who you want to play tomorrow. Stott is 3 for 7 with a home run and 2 walks against Manaea. So he sees the ball nicely from that guy. Marsh, though, is 0 for 3, probably 3 strikeouts.
More than likely.
More than likely, right? So to me, in my opinion, when it comes to Stott, because we're talking about Manaea here, if this was July, there probably might be more consideration to starting, Sosa here. But man, after yesterday with that huge triple, maybe
he had a hit earlier in the game too.
He had a hit earlier in the game. Yeah, he had a huge. He's been so good
His
defensively
confidence.
already. Yeah, you could tell.
That catch was incredible too, because like you could feel it in the stadium when I don't remember who hit the ball, and he just like was floating in the air trying to get it. It was just like it felt like time stood still. We were like, "Here's another run for the Mets," and then he snagged it, and the place just went ballistic.
Yep.
So I personally would start him because I like Stott a lot. So Bohm, I understand why they sat Bohm because he has not been doing anything since he got injured, and you can kind of tell like when he's slamming his helmet and his bat and stuff like that.
Not there.
That's not an energy you want either. Like you can't have that when we're trying to like.
Great point. I haven't heard someone bring that up.
When you're trying to come back from a deficit of any type, whether it's in the series or in a game, and you got somebody heaving their helmets and the smashing shit up in the dugout, that's a bad energy. You can't have that. And I like Bohm a lot. He's a professional hitter, but you had to sit him. You had to just like take a rest. He shouldn't have played at all yesterday, in my opinion, and just say, hey, listen, we're gonna send a message too. Like you can't have we're not that it's all about vibes and stuff like that, but like listen, we gotta. We're down 1-0. We can't be, doing stupid shit like, punting our helmets, over to the link. You know what I mean? Like, so I think Stott played great, and I personally wouldn't drop him.
Let me also just bring up, I just saw this. Edmundo Sosa against Manaea, 4 for 8 with a double, triple, and a home run.
Maybe put Bohm on the bench tomorrow.
I would think about
that. They already said Bohm starting.
I know, Boom starting.
Can Sosa play outfield?
Lineup cards ain't been handed in yet, homie. They can be adjusted.
That's the thing. It can be adjusted. It's a work. He's going to swerve everyone tomorrow, and Sosa's going to be right in that lineup. Sosa's also
play outfield? Can he play the outfield?
Sosa could probably play left field.
They put him in left.
Hayes is 2 for 3 with a home run off Manaea. Wow,
dude, we need to just get all somebody.
All the backups are playing.
Rojas is benched.
There you go.
It's just complete backups.
Stubbs is 5 for 5 with 4 home runs.
I don't believe that at all.
He's got like 4 career home runs.
Not one bit. Not one. I don't believe anything Stubbs does. I hate that guy.
Speaking of Alec Bohm. He's going to be back in the lineup as Topper talked about earlier Monday. I think it was early Monday afternoon. He's 2 for 31. He's 2 for 31 dating back to the regular season. And obviously, like Dean said, he's shown his frustration in game, slamming his helmet. They've talked about it, and clearly, the team does not like the negative energy that he creates, which I think is a big deal why you didn't see him play. And maybe he's gotten it. I don't know. But it was telling that Thompson kept using the word energy pregame on Sunday when asked why he went with Sosa. So I think Dean, as funny as that may sound, it's the playoffs. That negative kind of energy. Somebody went to Topper, whether it's a Schwarber or it's a Harper. Someone went to him and said you might want to give him a day off tomorrow.
Yeah. If he wasn't struggling, he's clearly struggling because of that hand injury.
I think so too.
If he never got hurt and just kept doing what he was doing all year, I don't think there'd be an issue because he was just contact all season, driving in runs, stuff like that. But he's just, you could tell
frustration setting in.
Yeah, he's so frustrated that injuries that derail this whole season, and it's so evident about that. It sucks too. It sucks.
What sucks the most is they need that bat because he's so good with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
Despite how terrible he ended his season, he still ended hitting 301 runners in scoring position and batting over 300 on the road. So he's their top hitter away from Citizens Bank Park. This is a great question, actually, from George. If the Mets win a World Series, does Bobby Bonilla get a ring? That's a great question, actually. You should. I'll ask you, Jason, first. Where are you on the Alec Boehm level? I mean, is this the kind of game where he comes out? He's away from CBP. He's away from the home crowd. Maybe this is the time, like a Stott did in Game 2, where he settles in now and just the loads off his back, just go out there and swing.
Yeah, again, he's showing to show up in those moments. Like we've seen him in the past really struggle, but I am still worried about the wrist injury because it is something that, in the beginning they said wasn't serious at all, and then he ended up missing a few weeks. So I do think it is a lingering issue. So you really hope maybe they give him something, maybe there's something there, but it's something you're going to have to watch the whole. He might be able to give you some at bats, but it just doesn't. He doesn't look like he has it right now, and that is we do need him. I think I said it last year, said it this year. Boehm is he's the guy to me because he should be your 4-hole. Even if it's a 5, you need that power, you need that gap hits, you need the doubles from him. He's very vital with JT not being that guy anymore. Boehm's really got to step up and be your third dude behind Harper and Turner.
I agree. If he doesn't hit well, if he doesn't do anything tomorrow, Dean and Jay, you both can answer this. What do you do about Game 4?
Sosa.
You go back to Sosa?
Yeah.
Or do you put him lower in the lineup?
I just think it's a him issue. I don't think it's do
you think he's fourth tomorrow? Or do you think Casty's fourth?
No, Casty's fourth. You got to keep it because what yesterday showed is that when you got that threat behind Harper, they're going to pitch to Harper.
They're going to have to, yeah.
They have to pitch to Harper.
Yep. They didn't pitch to him first Game 1, and Casty was there.
But Casty went off yesterday. So now they know, okay, if this guy's locked in, if Casty's locked in, and listen, I rip Casty all season, even when he's doing good, I'm like, this guy sucks. I'm Randy Quaid from Major League 2 when it comes to Castellanos, okay? But
yeah, you are.
I have to, like, when he's locked in, man, you can't get that dude out, right?
It's going to take one slider for Dean to hate this motherfucker.
I did it in the game yesterday. It was the at bat when he swung at those 2 balls in the dirt, and I was like, man, I'm fucking sick of this guy. And then he grounded out, and I was like, see, this is all he's gonna do. And then the next at bat, he jacked one that hasn't landed yet. But he's more. I think he's more of a deadly threat if he's seeing the ball well than Boehm is.
That's why I didn't want to get rid of him. Also, I didn't want to bench him. To me, he's a professional hitter. I know what he can do. Like I know he's got more potential to hit home runs, to hit the doubles to me than Boehm. I'm 100% fine with Casty. He needs to be 4 right now.
I agree. Totally agree. All right. So before we get out of here, it's prediction time. And I got to answer 2 questions. I'm going to start with Jay. Jay, who wins tomorrow and who's the star of the game?
Phil's Nola.
All right. Dean, who wins and who's the star of the game?
Mets.
Who's the star then? Who are you giving it to? You give it to the polar bear. I'm coming to your house.
It's gonna be Francisco.
I don't know. Nemo.
Oh, I hate Nemo, but I can see that.
If it's the Mets, it's probably gonna be Vientos because that
it could be. That dude jacked 2 yesterday.
Yeah, he's going to roll right now.
I don't want to listen. I don't want it to be the Mets. I don't know, man. I just again. I'd rather be wrong than be like it's us and then we lose. I'd rather come on tomorrow.
Say us and be right.
No, I would rather be surprised. Like,
yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go Phillies win, and Alec Boehm is the star. I'm gonna go with that. Why would you roll your eyes? You would want that to happen.
I do. I really thought you were going Harper. I was really thinking you were about to jump back on the Harper train. That's all.
I'm always on the Harper train, but I'm gonna hate on him every chance that he gives me. Listen, he's like my favorite person in the world, but I'm gonna rip him because I get so frustrated.
So do I. I think he says and does a lot of dumb shit too.
Yeah,
like his Rocky comment yesterday. It's like this is me when I heard it. Shut up, Bryce. Like. Stop
it. Wanking motion.
Stop pandering. Rocky's not real.
He does, everybody pander. It's ridiculous.
That's so funny.
Because you guys, the Philadelphia audience, typically buys into it and gobbles it up.
They do, yeah. Like, fanatic cleats. Who cares if we lose 90 games a year?
All right, so that is basically our post-game and pre-game show for tomorrow. Phillies versus Mets. Aaron Nola takes the hill in what is definitely the most important game of the season because if the Phillies if they take it tomorrow, I really do think they find a way to close out the series on Wednesday. We'll talk about the Ranger Suarez start after tomorrow's
that's what I texted you earlier too, Chris. I said I think if we take one in New York all together, I think we're winning the series.
Yeah, you kind of like you take out the Mets' heart if you win Game 3 in New York. You really
for sure.
In New York, I think you win Game 4 in New York.
I mean, that's possible, but it's going to be unless he puts out Wheeler. I don't
coming back to Philly.
I agree with you. If they win tomorrow, it's not coming back to Philly.
I think either way, it's not coming back to Philly. I think whoever wins tomorrow wins the series.
Oh, wow. Okay. You're right.
I picked the Mets in 4. The Phillies are exactly where I thought they were going to be. I just thought they were going to win Game 1 and lose Game 2. But I thought they were going to split in Philly and get swept in New York. That was just my feeling. Just because the Mets are so damn hot. Like, look at the Padres. It's just, and the Tigers, they're that level. They're that level.
If Nola loses tomorrow, I'll come in here saying Rangers going to pitch Jim sweeping.
You are going to say it. He's going to say it. He's going to say Phillies in 5 tomorrow night if they lose. But yeah, 5:08 first pitch. Aaron Nola versus Sean Manaea. Man, we'll see tomorrow. Oh my God, I'm going to be nervous all day. But again, if you're watching this on YouTube, like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications. Again, head over to SeatGeek.com right now. Use our code Ring the Bell for $20 off your very first ticket purchase. Dean, thanks so much, man. I really do appreciate it. If they win, if they win, you might be on tomorrow night. We'll see how that goes. Although Dean did say if they win tomorrow, he's going to try to get up there on Wednesday.
Yeah, if tickets drop enough, I'm not dropping like $300.
No, you're dropping more than 300. If it's you ain't going.
Well, I got New York Comic Con next week. I ain't dropping $300 on a fucking divisional round. I'll drop $500 on a World Series game though. I'm doing it if they go this year.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
More than that.
You might have to
a lot more than that.
Oh,
that's fine. Gosh. That's fine.
All right, boys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to everybody who's been supporting the show as always. We'll catch you guys here tomorrow for the post game show. Let's just get on your hands and knees, pray to whoever you pray for this game tomorrow night. But looking forward to it as always. All right, guys. For Jason Kent, Dean Halls-Apple, I'm Chris C. Francesco, and this has been the Ring the Bell Phillies show. We'll catch you guys here tomorrow night. And as always, go Phils.